I'm a big fan of First Take. And the reason why is because I think that the banter between Stephen A and Max is representative of kind of where we are in society, politically, right? Like both of them have a political slant. And this exchange that I'm going to show you is like kind of embodies that. But before we get into that, my name is Greg Foreman, and you are watching a Black Conservative Perspective. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my videos. Help me grow my channel. And most importantly, share a Black Conservative perspective. Let's get into this. So watch this exchange between Stephen A and Max regarding the Brian Urlacher situation.
He's susceptible to low-quality information, it seems to me. If you exist in a Fox News silo or a Facebook silo of extreme right-wing propaganda, what you will notice, and by the way, this even makes its way into the mainstream, when a black man is killed by law enforcement, the stories that come out about him, especially in those silos with low-quality information, paint him as a very bad person.
You know, you got to be careful about generalizing. When you talk about low-quality information, you got to be specific about that. Excuse me, just like you brought up Fox News, there are people that can look at CNN or MSNBC, and they don't have their opinions about those networks. Not to mention the fact,
this is not an issue of opinion, Stephen A. I'm talking about independent fact-checking organizations and the quality of the information. It is not equivalent to CNN and Fox News. I'm sorry.
Hold on. No. We listened to you. We heard you. All right? But the point is, do you know that Urlacher got that information from Fox News? Do you know that? How do you know what television network he was watching?
No,
that's the
I
point.
didn't, and I didn't say he did.
Don't even bring it up. All right, then. So don't even you said low quality information. You mentioned Fox News.
I'm talking about.
I watch them all.
No, but I saw certain facts that he was incorrect about, including he reached for the knife because that's where it's framed in low-quality information.
We heard you. See, that's your problem because you like to talk, and then what you don't want to do is hear the other point because you want your point to be stuck with everybody else.
You're just mischaracterizing what I said.
When you talk about low-quality information, you need to be specific and identify exactly who you're talking about and know what you're talking about before you just castigate somebody like that. That's all. I don't want people doing that on First Take. I don't want people doing that on First Take, period.
Stephen A.
As it pertains to Urlacher.
Stephen A., let me be very clear.
As it pertains to Urlacher, he was wrong.
Low-quality information silos like Fox News, let me be very clear, I'm being specific, and some right-wing Facebook kind of news silos. That's what I'm discussing. And when I see facts cited like he was reaching for a knife, that is a tip-off to me.
Okay, fine. All right, you're wrong, but that's...
In that exchange, you can see that Max Kellerman, aka Max Kellerman, which is what I like to call him, always does this thing, right? Where when there's a political topic, he always like to use right-wing outlets like Fox News as low-quality information. What he tries to do is that he tries to delegitimize Brian Urlacher's view by insinuating that he gets his news and information from Fox News or right-wing outlets, maybe like Breitbart, and that he deems to be low-quality information. And I'm glad that Stephen A. called his ass out on this because I've watched CNN, and CNN is not high-quality information, bruh. Don't get me wrong. Fox News has a right-wing slant. At least with Fox News, I know what I'm getting when I watch Fox News. I know when I flip on Fox News, I know I'm getting right-wing propaganda, right? And I understand that. That's okay. But I'm smart enough to be able to discern that what's right-wing propaganda and what's not, right? What are the facts and what are not the facts? I'm okay with that. But with CNN, I have a bigger problem with CNN. The reason why I watch Fox News more than I watch CNN is because with CNN, they try to pretend as if they are fair and balanced, right? They try to pretend as if they're a network of facts when no, they're really a network of just lies. Right? They're a network of pretending to be on your side when you're not. Like, I've seen so many times on CNN where Trump's having a golf event and everybody in the event was wearing a mask. And the headline says, Trump holds a golf event amid a coronavirus pandemic. None of the attendees are wearing attendees are not wearing masks and not socially distancing. And literally on the screen, everybody that was there was wearing a mask. Right? Just, I mean, it's like, you cannot tell me that that's not low quality information. Right? Like, you know, at the RNC, they criticizing Trump because people weren't wearing masks or social distance. Bruh, literally everybody literally I can't help but laugh while making this, because it's just so stupid to think about. Like, the RNC was pre-recorded for the most part. The parts that weren't necessarily pre-recorded, do you think that they let those people in there without testing them before they go around the president of the United States? Why do they, and they try to drive this narrative that the Republicans are just so reckless about corona, right? Oh, they're not wearing masks. Oh, they're not socially distancing. Even if they wear masks and even if they socially distance, CNN is going to accuse them of not following the protocol or whatever, right? But at the same time, they never ever criticize these fucking protests. And that's what really pisses me off, man. Because CNN tries to pretend like they're above the fray and that they're above propaganda, when no, they push just as much propaganda as Fox News. It's just that they do it in a more sneaky way. That is a good example of what liberals try to do in general, and the Democrat Party in general, where they try to pretend like they're not racist. They try to pretend like they're for you, when really they're trying to stab you in the back. They are trying to stab you in the back. How do you know it? Is because, again, they're supporting movements like Black Lives Matter that has said they're against the nuclear family. We know how important the nuclear family is to the success of the black household. The black poverty rate for married couples in 2019 was 7.1%. Again, how can you be for Black Lives Matter when their stated goal is to dismantle the nuclear family? I don't care what anybody says. They're not for the nuclear family. They're not for the black man. I am a black man and I've read that. So don't sit and try to tell me you're pro-black and that's what you support. They never criticize these protests, man. They never do. They never do. And you're trying to act like CNN is some type of high quality information. But, you know, the thing is that when you look back at this Brian Urlacher situation, you know, what they're actually arguing about, Brian Urlacher didn't say anything wrong, man. He told the truth. He told it like, he said Brett Favre's dad died and he went out there and threw like 4 touchdowns. He had like a legendary game, right? He went out there, left it all on the field, played with his dad. That's what sports are for, man. That's what makes sports great, is going out there playing and putting on a performance in adversity. That's what it's all about, right? And now all of a sudden Brian Urlacher is some type of racist and white supremacist, and Max, aka Max Kellerman, is not calling out that type of low quality information, accusing people of being white supremacists and racist with zero evidence just because they have a right-wing point of view, right? I have a right-wing point of view. Am I racist? You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense, right? It does not make sense. And Max was particularly getting on Brian Urlacher because he insinuated that the guy was reaching for a knife, and he says there's no evidence for that. Well, they found a knife in the floor of the car. So again, I'm not necessarily going to say that he was reaching for a knife because it's impossible for me to know that. Me personally, I wouldn't say something like that. But at the same time, I'm not going to get mad at somebody because they came to that conclusion, considering that he went to the car and was reaching what it looks like in the floor, and on the floor, inside the car floor, there was a knife. The police found that. Again, it's not that much of a stretch, right? He's 90% of the way there. He extrapolated the rest of it, but he's 90% right? And people try to kill people because you have an opinion that differs from the liberal point of view. And this is the type of society that we live in, man. But you know, Stephen A is one of those journalists that's low-key. He's low-key a Republican. He's low-key a Republican because Stephen A gets it. Stephen A is carrying ESPN because he gets it. He understands that you have to work hard, that, you know, nothing's given to you in this life, and he worked his way up. He's an American dream story, and that's why I really appreciate where he comes from, right? And I do appreciate his perspective, and you can tell that he's trying to toe the line. He's trying to basically not get fired. And honestly, I don't know why Stephen A hasn't started his own channel, right? Stephen A needs to leave ESPN and start his own platform because he has a big enough following and fan base to do that, right? Well, he can freely say what he wants to say, because I feel like somebody like Stephen A., if he came out as just as a straight up conservative, which I know he is, or I think he is, he would be able to contribute a lot to this conversation because he gets it. He understands, right? I can tell that he's the type of person that he like he said, he watches CNN, he watches Fox News, he watches all point of view. And I think he's the type that's going to take a step back and independently think about what he believes is true. But on the other hand, you got somebody like Max Kellerman, who's going to go out there and tell black people to do things that he wouldn't tell his own kids to do. That's what the liberal would do, especially the white liberal. The white liberal is going to go out there and tell black people to do things that they wouldn't tell their kids to do. You will never see Max Kellerman's, and I'm calling him Max Kellerman on purpose. You will never see his kids out there in the street protesting. You'll never see it. If Skip Bayless had kids, I guarantee you would never see his kids out there in the street protesting. Just like you ain't gonna never see him out there in the street protesting. You're not gonna see Shannon Sharp out there in the street protesting. Because these guys a lot of these guys in the media are just fake. They're fake. They go on TV and they act like they're holier than thou, as if they're above the fray. But in the reality of it is, they're just talking. They're scared. They're scared. They're scared to go against the liberal point of view because they don't want to be shunned. And that's all it is. Max Kellerman is pushing an agenda. He's pushing the liberal agenda. And that's why the exchanges between him and Stephen A. are always so interesting, especially exchanges between him and Will Cain as well, who I think left the network as well to go to Fox News. So with these sports journalists and politics being so intertwined with this stuff, it's always interesting to kind of see how these exchanges go. Let me know what you guys think about this exchange between Stephen A. and Max. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.